Alright, welcome back guys. If it's your first time here, I'm Vision Hero Bunny Tam, bringing you guys another video. Tam, giving you guys some of my thoughts and opinions regarding some comments that have recently come out from Amy Jo Johnson regarding Hasbro's upcoming new Power Rangers universe. Now, Power Rangers, I'm sure instant. Don't forget to hit subscribe button down below, hit that bell icon, don't miss more Power Rangers content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So, like I said, Amy Jo Johnson has come out with some comments expressing her thoughts and opinions regarding Hasbro's upcoming Power Rangers universe that's in the works. Now, I'm going to paraphrase this here. I'm not going to pretty much say it word for word, but pretty much to get the gist of it, she just pretty much says that she thinks it's kind of dumb if the new Power Rangers universe doesn't acknowledge the OGs. Now, there has been a lot of negative kind of comments about this, but there has been support for her as well. Now, a lot of the negative comments takes her from thinking she means the MMPR originals. However, I think she's talking about the Prime universe, the OG universe that we have. And if that is the case, I agree with her. Although pretty much I do agree with her overall too. I do think they should still acknowledge MMPR. Look, I know people get sick and tired of MMPR. You know, it's the thing that gets pushed the most with toys and everything. But, I mean, it is the OG. It's where the show got started. The show wouldn't exist if it wasn't for MMPR. So, to an extent, I understand why it gets pushed. I get frustrated myself when they try to push so much MMPR stuff. Especially with the Lightning Collection. I wish they'd kind of move away from MMPR in the Lightning Collection and move to other seasons. But that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the movie and upcoming universe. So to an extent, I agree with Amy Jo. You know, if you had seen my last video giving you guys my update for the upcoming universe, I mentioned that whenever Hasbro talks about its upcoming new universe, the way they talk about it makes it sound like the new universe they're making is the only thing they really care about, and they're just gonna push the old universe, this Prime universe, to the side and don't care and don't want to acknowledge it. And that's how I feel like, at least that's how I am interpreting and feel like Amy Jo is trying to get across, is that, you know, that she doesn't want to see this universe be ignored and just thrown away. And I agree with that. I would love to see this universe still exist and Hasbro to still acknowledge it. I mean, if we're being honest, this new universe wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this Prime universe. This universe that is almost 30 years old made Power Rangers what it is. Hasbro wouldn't have ownership of the property, or wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for MMPR or this Prime universe. So I don't think it's right for Hasbro to just, if they decide to shove this Prime universe aside and just move forward with their new universe that they're making. In my opinion, first off, it's disrespectful to the actors who came on and did their job, created these seasons for the fans, and then just to push these seasons aside and act like they never existed is disrespectful to these actors. Then it also, in my opinion, is disrespectful to us fans who love and grew up on these seasons like Time Force, MMPR, RPM, all the great seasons at Lost Galaxy. If you don't acknowledge them, I think it's going to make fans annoyed. And I think it would be really cool, depending on what these new Ranger universes are going to be, whether it's US exclusive, or they do a remake of MMPR Rangers. I think it'd be really cool to see that Hasbro's new Power Rangers, team up or cross over with the Rangers from the Prime universe that we've had for the near 30 years. I just don't want to see Hasbro push this whole, the original Power Rangers universe aside and act like it's never existed. And like I said, I feel like whenever I hear Hasbro talk about them making this new movie universe and, making their, stamp on Power Rangers, the way I always feel like they talk about it, it feels like they don't want to acknowledge this. And I think, at least the way I'm interpreting it, that's how I feel Amy Jo is talking about. And I think that is something that should be done. Whether, they're creating US exclusive Power Rangers and not doing a whole remake of the old seasons, I still think these old seasons should be acknowledged to an extent. You don't have to fully, do the whole thing, but you could do callbacks, Easter eggs, something like that. Maybe have some of these actors cameo or guest appear in the new universe as themselves they're Rangers in that universe. Again, it'd be really cool. I just don't want to see this universe forgotten. It made Power Rangers what it is. Power Rangers wouldn't be around if it wasn't for these old seasons. And everybody loves these seasons. SPD, RPM, Time Force, Lost Galaxy, In Space, some of the most fan favorites of them all. And you're just gonna throw them away and act like they didn't exist, which like I said, is in my opinion is disrespectful for the actors who put their time and go out to these cons and everything and hang out with the fans, interact and everything with that. I think it's disrespectful to them who have put time into this franchise and just, never exist and never act like they never aren't ever happened. So I just don't like that. And I'm really hoping that they don't do that. It's just something that I think, like I said, is disrespectful. I don't think fans will like it either. And to be honest, I am happy and excited for this new universe. I think Hasbro has done a good job with Power Rangers, like I've talked about recently. Beast Morphers was a good season. I'm loving Dino Fury. I really have been enjoying PR for the past few years, since Hasbro acquired it, not since the whole Neo Saban era. But I have been enjoying what Hasbro has done with it. I think they understand it, and I think that they understand the fan base. So I really hope they listen to the fan base, and don't push this whole season, these old seasons aside. They I feel like they do care about the fans. And I know people kind of didn't really like Amy Jo's comments and kind of, got mad at her for her comments. But I think, you gotta take it from these actors' standpoint. They put all their time, energy into making Power Rangers what it is. Like I said, Amy Jo is an OG. She played Kimberly in the first 3 seasons. So, for her, I think she probably feels like they're making this new universe and not going to acknowledge that her and the rest of the OGs never existed. So I think that's her way of saying, look, we don't want to be forgotten. We want to still be relevant. We don't want to, we don't, just because you're making this new universe, we don't want to be, just forgotten about. We still want to be relevant and just, not be forgotten and not fade away. So that's how I feel. And one of the things I've heard people talk about is the reason Hasbro is creating their own universe is because they don't want to be looked upon and judged based on what came before. And I'm sorry to break anybody's, bubble or burst anybody's bubble, whether it be Hasbro's or if you're a fan who agrees with that, is that doesn't matter. Even if they create this new universe, it's still going to be compared to and, analyzed and looked at in comparison to these old seasons. Just because they create their own universe doesn't mean it's, they're not going to be judged on what comes after them, what came before them. And I think that's one of the things they might be trying to do is by acting like these new seasons, these old seasons never existed, so they can say, look, we got, we're starting from scratch. These are our Rangers. Those Rangers don't exist anymore. Trying to make it look like they're trying to, stand on their own. And I don't like that. Like I said, I just want them to accept the fact that these seasons happened. Don't just shove them to the side and act like they didn't exist. But that's just how I stand. I know there are probably people who, don't agree with what Amy Jo said and are angry with her. And look, if you are, I can understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, I just think she has a good point. Just being one of the OGs herself, I feel like she just thinks and feels like she doesn't want to be, her and her, original friends and teammates aren't forgotten and not just, acted like they never existed. And that's how I feel about it. But let me know your thoughts, opinions about what Amy Jo comments and what you think about this, my opinions regarding if they, act like this old universe never existed. All that good stuff in the comment section down below. Hey guys, those are my thoughts and opinions regarding the comments made by Amy Jo Johnson about Hasbro's new Power Rangers universe. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give a big thumbs up and share. Don't forget to hit subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon. There will be some more Power Rangers content from me moving forward. And go follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which is in the back section of my YouTube channel. As always, I'm Vision Hero Born Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.